At Hashem, today Tisha BeAv, we learn a little bit about Churban Yerushalayim and the history a little bit just before that. So it's interesting to know the Navi, the prophet that was in Yerushalayim at the time, his name was Yirmiyahu. Yirmiyahu, he was the grandson of Rachav Azonah. She was the one that helped the Meraglim that Yoshua sent to Israel. She helped them and she brought them out, right, from the city when they were chasing them. And they promised her that when they come into Israel and they conquer the land, she and her family are going to be saved. So Yirmiyahu, is one of the grandchildren of Rachav. And it says that Yirmiyahu, when he was very young, his best friend was not other than Nebuchadnezzar. The one who's going to destroy the temple was his best friend. He was a goy, but he was his best friend. And they used to play together. They used to play together, right, as little kids. One day, they were traveling together, they were playing together, and they were speaking to each other. So the Amar Nebuchadnezzar Yirmiyahu, I'm reading a midrash. The Nebuchadnezzar told Yirmiyahu, Lo haiti melech. He's maybe 10 years old now. Little kids, two little kids, 10 years old kids, they're speaking. And Nebuchadnezzar is telling me now, you know, if I would have been a king, הייתי כובש את ירושלים עירך, שורף את בית מקדשכם, הורג רבים מיושבי העיר ואת הנשארים לוקח בשבי. If I would have been king one day, I'm to burn this city, to kill your people, and to take the rest to exile.
And he was his friend.
Yeah, he was his friend, right? He was a good friend, you know? So this is what he planned already, 10 years old. He was 10, he was a kid, right? Some say he was the great grandchild of Shlomo Melech when he went with Bathsheba, the king of Sheba, the queen of Sheba, right? Malkat Sheva. So, anyways, that's what he's planning. Bo'ota sha'a, says the Midrash, at that moment, Yirmiyahu, 10 years old, got already a prophecy. קיבל נבואה. He understood what he's telling him is going to happen. He understood he's not just talking. What he's telling him right now is going to happen in the future. So he told them, ויאמר לו ירמיהו, רוצה אני לבקש ממך בקשה. Could I ask you for something? He said, what? He says, when you're going to be a king, and you're planning to do what you want to do, right? So, as friends, right? תן לי את ירושלים במתנה ואעשה בה כרצוני. Give me the city of Jerusalem. Do whatever you want. Kill everybody, exile everybody, but give me Jerusalem as a present, and let me do whatever I want. ונבוכדנצר לא הסכים. He did not agree, right? ולא הבטיח את ירושלים לירמיהו. גם את בית המקדש ביקש הנביא. So give me the temple. You know what? Don't give me the whole city. Give me just בית המקדש, right? He he said no, לא הסכים. So he told him, okay, you know what? Don't burn it. Don't burn the temple. At least don't burn it. Take possession, but don't burn it. And he says, no, he does not agree. So he told him, you know what? Give me the tinokot shel bet Ramban. Give me the little kids to teach them. And he did not agree. So he told him, it's not possible. Ma titen li, ani yididcha. If we're friends, right? You cannot not give me nothing. You have to give me something. You cannot take everything. So he told him, אם כן, מה תיתן לי? ונבוכדנצר ענה, יודע אתה מה אתן לך? You know what I'm going to give you? שתוכל להציל או הוציא מן העיר שלך ולא יותר. Whatever you can take out of the city is going to be yours. Not more than that. He's going to burn the city, he's going to kill the people, he's going to burn the temple. But whatever you're able to take out from Jerusalem, take for yourself. You want to take people? Take people. You want to take objects? Take that. You want to take gold? Whatever you want to take. But I'm not promising you to give you nothing. Right? But the Midrash is teaching us that just before Jerusalem was captured, just before, Hashem told Yirmiyahu to go back to his city. Yirmiyahu was not born in Yerushalayim. He was born in a city far away called Anatot. By the way, the book of Echa, we just read, the book of Echa, is an acronym. Okay? Is an acronym. Oh, Is an acronym, right? What's the acronym? Echa, Aleph, Yud, Kaf, He. Ani, Yirmiyahu, Kohen, Anatoti. I am Yirmiyahu the Kohen from the city of Anatot. Right? He signed his name by the word Echa. So he was not from Jerusalem. So just before it happened that Jerusalem was destroyed and captured, Hashem revealed himself to Yirmiyahu, and he told him, go to Anatot, go to see your uncle, Hanamel. He's going to sell you a field. He has a field to sell. You buy it. You buy this field and make a shtar, make a paper with him, and hide the contract, right, and come back. Why did Hashem say that? Because by the time he left, then they destroyed Jerusalem. Because Nebuchadnezzar told them, you can save whatever you could. So even that he was not able. Because Hashem sent them. When he came back,
Hashem didn't want him.
He didn't want him to save. So when he came back, he saw the city, he saw the smoke from far. He understood the city was already destroyed, everybody was killed, some of them were exiled, right? So then he started to follow the people walking to Bavel. They made them walk from Israel to Iraq by foot, right? They made them walk. Yimach Shemam, the Nazis, the last day before the Americans came in the camps, right? They made the Jews walk, right? Kilometers and kilometers, and whoever is not able to walk, they kill them. They killed the people, right? Whoever was not able to follow, the people were already tired. They killed a lot of them on the route. So this story begins all the way when Yirmiyahu and Nebuchadnezzar are young. Now, Yirmiyahu is sent by Hashem. He sent to Yerushalayim, right? He sent to prophesize, to tell them, Tasu Tshuva. The first thing he told them is to keep Shabbat. A lot of people didn't keep Shabbat. And when he told them, why don't you keep Shabbat? Why are the stores open? Why are you dealing on Shabbat? So they tell him, Manochal, if the store is going to be open Shabbat, closed Shabbat, what are we going to eat? He took out from Bet HaMikdash, he had Tzintzeret Aman. Yeah, this is Beit Rishon. This is the first temple. He had Tzintzeret Aman. Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu in Parashat Beshalach, we read, he told him, I want to have a souvenir for generations of the man that people should see what I gave Am Yisrael in the Midbar. So he went to Bet HaMikdash and there was the Tzintzeret, right? It was there. So he brought the thing and he told him, look, 40 years in the desert, everybody had food, Hashem gave them the man. You think Hashem cannot give you parnasah? You don't have emunah. You should have emunah. Hashem can provide. Why don't you? They listened to him, they didn't listen, but it was not the only thing. Besides not keeping Shabbat, they used to have Avodah Zarah. Every corner was Baal, Asherah, Chamanim, all kinds of Avodah Zarah that the Knaanim used to have. Every corner, people used to kill each other. In Yerushalayim, Ir HaKodesh, they used to kill each other, right? And adultery, Ayarayot. Av Ben, a father and a son would go to the same girl, right? And all kinds of things. So Hashem said, right? But we might think, maybe this is what caused the decree. No. The Gemara is asking in Nedarim, Pei Dalet, the Gemara, Al Ma Avda Haaretz. Which ones of the sins is worse? Chilul Shabbat? Killing each other? Adultery? Avodah Zarah? Which one? No. No one knew. Because why? At the same time that was all this happening, everybody was studying Torah. Everybody would study Torah, right? So the Nevi'im, they didn't know. They said, Torah can counterbalance, right? So what's the main reason why Hashem destroyed Jerusalem? So Shalu Nevi'im, they asked the prophet, Lo Yodim. We don't know, right? Then they said, okay, if the prophet don't know, they asked the Chachamim, the rabbis, no one knew. They asked the prophets, Lo Yodim. They asked the angels, Malachim. They were able to communicate with angels. Like the Midrash says, when the Goyim came, the Hanamel, the uncle of Yirmiyahu, he made a Shem Kadosh, he omitted a holy name, and he put Jerusalem in the air. They were not able to capture Jerusalem. He put that in the air. What did Hashem do? Hashem changed the name of the Malachim, of the angels. When he wanted to keep it in the air, he was making swear Malachim. He made swear Malachim to keep it in the air, but since the name were changed, it was not the same Malachim, the Jerusalem fell back to its place. Right? So they're communicating with angels. They were able to communicate with angels. So they asked the angels, what's the reason Jerusalem was destroyed? Which one is the main reason? We don't know. We don't know which one is the main reason. Till HaKadosh Baruch Hu came, he says what? Al shelo birchu b'Torah. You know what's the main reason? Going up to the Torah and not saying a bracha. When we come up to the Torah, we say bracha. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu torato v'chadeh Hashem matan Torah. When they used to go up to the Torah, no bracha. Tevarech, say a bracha. No need. Just read. Why? Do you say a bracha when you learn mathematics? When you say a bracha, when you shake bachar banu, no. Do you say a bracha when you learn algebra? When you say a bracha when you learn philosophy? Lo tzarich. Torah is a science. Torah is a wisdom, it's like a science. Lo birchu b'Torah techila. They did not want to say the bracha on the Torah. Says Hashem, they can learn Torah as much as they want. If they don't say bracha, means Torah is not important. They take Torah as a science. Torah is not a science. Torah was a fight between the angels and Moshe Rabbeinu. They wanted to keep the Torah up there. Moshe Rabbeinu was fighting, almost got burned, and he brought it down here, right? So now you're telling us, no tzach bracha, no need to say bracha. So Hashem says this is not acceptable. Sometimes we think it's the big things that cause, right? Avodah zarah. Hashem is showing to you it's not always the big things; it's the little things, right? What's a bracha? For a bracha, you wanted to destroy Jerusalem, kill the chachamim, right? For bracha, yes. It's not the big things; it's the small things. So, al shelo berchu Torah techila. Chachamim say, al shelo berchu b'Torah techila. You know, Friday night, when we come Friday from the Bet HaKnesset, we do Kiddush, and then we say bracha to our kids. Yisimcha Elohim ke'Ephraim v'Manasseh. Okay? It says, we say Yisimcha Elohim ke'Ephraim v'Manasseh. God should make you be like the children of Yosef, the grandchildren of Yaakov, Ephraim or Menashe. But as we read over there in the Torah, Yosef, what is telling his father? Abba, why are you switching your hands? It's not. If Ephraim is the younger one, Menashe is the older one. Why you put your right hand on the younger one? So he tells him, Yadati, I know, but listen, he's going to be greater, right? Why is Ephraim going to be greater than Menashe? Because Ephraim used to study Torah. Even in Egypt, he used to study the whole day. When Yaakov came down to Egypt, every day he would travel from Egypt to Goshen, which is like an hour, 2-hour ride. He would go to Goshen to study with his grandfather Torah. Menashe, he was like advisor or help for his father. How do we see that? Rashi says, how do we see that? Because we see when the Shevatim, they came down to Egypt, Ki lo yadu ki hamelitz binotam. The translator was translating from Hebrew to Egyptians, because Yosef said, I don't know medaber ivrit. Right? He didn't want his brothers to recognize him, right? So who was the translator? Menashe. He translated because he knew Hebrew. Yosef taught him Hebrew. So he was translating from Hebrew to Egyptian. From Egyptian of Yosef to Hebrew, right? So he was there next to his father always, helping him, running the country. Yosef was running the Egypt, right? So he was busy with work. He was working, right? Says Yaakov, Yisimcha Elohim ke'Ephraim v'Manasseh. Your children should be first like Ephraim. Your children should go to yeshiva. Your children should study Torah. If they don't succeed, okay, let them work. It's also something, right? Working is also something. But first give them a chance. Don't say, oh, I know he's not good. I didn't go to yeshiva, so my kids don't. No. Give your son a chance. Maybe he's going to be a Talmid Chacham. How many Rabbanim, Chachamim, big scholars, their father was Am Haaretz. Rav Ovadia Yosef, what did his father do? Makolet. He was selling fruits and vegetables. And one day the Rosh Yeshiva came, Rav Ades, he came, and he see Ovadia is not there. If Ovadia, he didn't come today. Right away, the same day he went to see this house. Says no, he went to his father to help him in the store. He comes to the store, he see Ovadia over there selling tapuchim, anavim, banana. So he told his father, Mama, what is he doing here? He says, listen, I need help. I don't have money to get to pay a helper, so I want my son to help me. He says, but your son is going to be a big Talmid Chacham. He says, no, listen, we need to support the family. So what did he do? He told them, okay, I'm going to get you somebody. If I get you somebody to replace him, you're going to... He says, yes. He says, okay, go. Tilech ata. He told Rav, and he stayed. The Rosh Yeshiva stayed in the store, he helped the father. The father got embarrassed. He said, no, okay, you can go to... I'm not going to rush you. The Yeshiva is going to sell apples and bananas over here, you know. And this is Rav Ovadia, how he grew. So his father was not a big rabbi, right? So you cannot say, oh, I didn't go to yeshiva. Give your son a chance, you never know. If he doesn't succeed, teach him a business. Something that he can have parnasah, because he has to have something. He cannot not have Torah, not business. He has to have something, but start. So that's why we say in Friday night, Yesimcha Elohim ke'Ephraim v'chimnashe. Try to be Ephraim. Try to be a Torah scholar. Try to study Torah, right? And if you don't succeed, my son, you know, so Menashe is also good. It's not embarrassing to be Menashe. It's also good. You have to have parnasah, right? Lo berchu b'Torah techila. When they came Friday night and they blessed their kids, no. Yesimcha Elohim ke'Menashe ve'ke'Ephraim. You know? I hope you should be a big lawyer, a big doctor, a big thing. If you don't succeed, go be mashgiach. You know? People don't succeed today. What do they do? The mashgiach. So that was their idea. If you don't succeed to work, if you don't have parnasah, you don't find to be a lawyer, lech tiyeh mashgiach. Chas v'shalom. Even mashgiach is better than a lawyer, because mashgiach is achrayut. People have to eat kosher. You know, he has to know the laws of tolaim, the laws of kosher. You don't meat, kosher meat. Not going. Even mashgiach is better, right? But to tell you, for them, Torah was not important. So Hashem says, you know what? With everything they did, avodah zarah, shvichut damim, arayot, al shelo birchu b'Torah tchila. This is the worst for me, says Hashem. If you don't give importance to the Torah, if you don't respect Torah, this is the worst thing you can do. This is the biggest avera that you can do. One time, there was a story with the Chazon Ish, with the rabbi. We came to speak with him. So he told him, listen, there is Achnasat Sefer Torah. There's Achnasat Sefer Torah. You want to come with me? Let's go over there. So they went. They were sitting, right? They were sitting. Sorry, there was not Achnasat Sefer Torah. There was a wedding, a chuppah. And they were sitting in the chuppah. I know, chuppah never starts on time. So they were sitting, and the other rabbi was speaking to the Chazon Ish, asking him questions. All of a sudden, the Chazon Ish heard music outside. So he says, what's the music? So they told him, there's Achnasat Sefer Torah on the street now. People are passing. So he told the rabbi, Bo, let's go walk a little bit with Sefer Torah. He told him, the chuppah. He told him, you see, nothing is ready. Bo nilech, let's do a kavod, the Sefer Torah, and come back. Few minutes, 5 minutes, not more than 5 minutes. Just walk a few steps with the Torah. So the rabbi didn't want. The rabbi says, no, we're going to miss it. You know, it's not nice. We're here. So the Chazon Ish went to himself. He came back, and they started a few minutes after he came back. So he had the time to mechabed the Torah, to respect the Torah, and he had the time. When it came to Shah Brachot, they gave the rabbi, they didn't want to go to walk with the Torah a few steps. They gave him a bracha. Okay? Baruch ata Hashem, okay? אשר יצר את האדם בצלמו, בצלם, דברות אביתו, והתקינו ממנו ביום. Fourth ברכה. When this rabbi took the course, he says, ברוך אתה השם אלוקינו וכל העם, אשר יצר את האדם בחוכמה וברא ונקבים נקבים. Everybody, the rabbi realized, and he started again, בלבל. He started again, ברוך אתה השם אלוקינו וכל העם, אשר יצר את האדם. So they asked the Chazon Ish, but this is a Rosh Yeshiva, this is a very respectful rabbi. What happened? He says, what happened? When you don't respect the Torah, he could have come with me a few minutes to respect Torah. This is what happened to him. You understand? If you don't give respect to the Torah doesn't respect you. Right? Ki mechabedai, achabed. Whoever respects me, I'll respect him back. Kol המכבד את התורה, whoever respects the Torah, גופו מכובד על הבריות. He himself, he's respected by other people. If you don't give respect to the Torah does not make sure that others don't respect you. Right? So Yirmiyahu, he was in this generation, they used to kill, and he used to tell them, no one wanted to listen to him, to the point he was standing every day in the marketplace and warning them. People, so to speak, got fed up with him. What are you coming every day? Shober tarosh, you're breaking our head over here. Torah, Shabbat, must speak. We're tired to listen to you. What did they do? They found a pit in Jerusalem. The pit had mud inside, like water and mud, very deep pit, and they threw him inside. Why? To die. They want him to die. He would drown. He would drown, die. Now the pit did not think, but with time he'll get tired. He won't be able to hold himself. He would drown. Then there was a man in Yerushalayim called Eved Melech HaKushi. Eved Melech HaKushi was a minister, and he went to the king Tzidkiyahu. He told him, "Ech ata yechol la'asot et ze?" How can you let such a thing? The prophet of Israel, you let him drown? He says, why? What do you mean? He says, look what they did to him. So he says, listen, everybody is against it, so I cannot do anything, but you know what? I'll let you do whatever you have to do. Go and help him. He went at night. And what did he do? What did he do? At night, he went and he told him, Yirmiyahu. So he thought somebody can make fun of him, because people the whole day used to go there and make fun of him. So he didn't answer. So he thought he drowned. So he started to cry, Yirmiyahu. He was crying. Till he told, what do you want? He says, I came to save you. He says, you came to save me? How are you going? He says, yes, the king Tzidkiyahu gave me permission to save you. So he put down a rope. He told him, hold to the rope and come up. I'll pull you up. You know, to pull up somebody with a rope from a pit, a very deep pit, right? It's not so easy. But at the end, he made it. Yirmiyahu looked to Shamayim and he's telling Hashem, you send me to talk to your children. You send me to rebuke your children. Look what they did to me. But I don't understand. Even when you send somebody to save me, you know what effort I had to put to come up? I'm tired, I'm exhausted. You could not send somebody with a ladder, sulam, to bring me up? Why do you make everything so difficult for me? Wow. So Hashem told him, Yirmiyahu, you know Beze Zchut Nitzalta? You know what the Zchut that you got saved? Who are you? You are the great grandson of Rachav Azonah. How did she save my children? The two meraglim, the two spies, Kalev and Pinchas. She brought them down the window with a rope. So this rope is the one saved you. I cannot send a ladder. I have to do midah keneged midah, measure for measure. Your grandmother saved them with a rope. I'm going to save you with a rope. Right? He could say, Hashem could send sulam. Hashem could send a ladder. Right? But Hashem says, no, measure for measure. Your grandmother did it with the rope. I'm going to do it for you, rope. But you're going to be saved thanks to your grandmother. But it has to be the same way she saved my spies, the meraglim that went to spy Eretz Israel. Right? So this was the story. He continued, right? And at that time also, just before, there was another prophet called Zechariah. Prophet Zechariah, he was also telling him Shabbat. He was telling him, he came to Bet HaMikdash. People used to come to bring korbanot. He came to Bet HaMikdash. And he used to tell people, come on, you bring a korban, ta'aseh tshuva, do tshuva. You cannot just bring a korban. You cannot kill people at night and come, okay, let me bring right? You cannot steal money at night and come, okay, let me bring a sheep, chatat. He used to tell them, atem mevim korbanot, you bring a sacrifice, אבל צריך tshuva. Sacrifices is worth nothing without tshuva. They also got fed with him. What did they do? They stoned him. They stoned him in Bet HaMikdash, and he died in Bet HaMikdash. When the Nebuzaradan, Tsar, he was the minister, the general army of Nebuchadnezzar, he came to Jerusalem, and he conquered Jerusalem. When he came to Bet HaMikdash, he saw a phenomenon that he says, something is strange. He saw blood which is boiling. Blood cannot boil. What is blood boiling? It's on the floor. So he told the Chachamim, what's this? He said, no, because today we did sacrifices. We had bulls. He says, yeah, but why is it boiling? And the color is different. So he says, okay, bring me bulls. Taviu shovarim. They slaughtered a bull, He compared the blood. It's not the blood. It's not the bull blood. Okay, he says maybe it's the sheep's. Sheep's doesn't look like sheep's. They brought a sheep. They slaughtered it. He compared the blood. No, maybe it's goats. It's not goats. So he says, till you don't tell me what's this, I'm going to kill all of you. So they had no choice than to admit that they stoned their prophet, Zechariah, in the temple. He says, what? You stoned a prophet, a messenger of God, in your temple, the holiest place? You know what? You're bad people. I'm going to take revenge from him. So he started to bring Kol HaSanhedrin, 121 rabbis. He slaughtered them. The blood continued to boil. He brought all the Chachamim. He slaughtered them on the blood. The blood continued to boil. He brought people from Jerusalem to make sure he's short. Chachamim say he slaughtered 900,000 people, and the blood continued to boil. So after he almost reached 1 million people that he slaughtered, he talked to the blood. He says, "You want me to continue? I can kill all of them. I can slaughter all of them just to revenge from you, Zechariah." As he said, as he spoke to the blood like this, the blood stopped. It means stopped boiling. He was called Rav HaTabachim, master of the butchers. 1 million people in Jerusalem on Bet HaMikdash. He killed, right? He killed over there, right? Why? Because they killed their own prophet. He wanted to take revenge. At the end of the day, he did tshuva. He got scared. He slaughtered 1 million people. He says, wow. If I have to deal with God after that, it's going to be big trouble, right? He ran away. He ran away with Gayer. He converted and did tshuva, right? So to tell you, it was a terrible situation. Besides this, 1 million people, we just read in the Kinot, right? In the Kinot we just read, Betar. After Jerusalem was destroyed, Betar resisted 52 years, right? In Betar, there's two versions in the Midrash. One version, which is written in the Kinot, they killed 4 million people in Betar. And other opinion says double, 8 million people. More than the Holocaust, 60 years ago. More than the Holocaust. 8 million people in one city, they killed it. They say there was so much blood running out of Betar from the city, it became like a river. It became like a river, right? So it was unfortunate. How many Jews were there, right? How many Jews were there? They said, only the amount of tefillin, the Midrash says, the amount of tefillin, they could have made a mountain with the amount of tefillin they had over there. A mountain with all the tefillin that they found over there, you know, from the city, from Betar, the tefillin that they found became a mountain of tefillin when they put everything together, right? So we cannot imagine, right? We just see back 60 years, 6 million Jews died. Terrible, horrible, right? But if we look back, we go back 1955 years, right? Millions were died. Millions, 5 millions, 8 millions, 10 million, we don't know how much, right? So many people. To tell you, this is what's Churban Yerushalayim. Churban Yerushalayim is what? Lack of respect. And when you don't respect Torah, you don't do what the Torah says. Shabbat, right? You don't do, you commit Avodah Zarah, right? To tell you, the main thing we have to have, main thing is to Torah, respect of Torah. We should hope our children go Bnei Torah, right? Study Torah. And Bezrat Hashem, with this, Mashiach should come this year. V'nigalenu, Amen, Ki Niratzon, Bezrat Hashem.